Tuesday. How are things? Good, I hope. I'm your holistic nutrition practitioner. My name is Luca Simmons, and I'm practicing on a very gray day out in the land of the foothills here in Treaty 7 territory. I'm glad to be of service to you this month. We just started a brand new month, right? It's February. Happy Groundhog Day. This month, we are zeroing in on thyroid and why the thyroid is one of those absolutely quintessential organs to look after, especially if we're talking about overall health. It is remarkable to me, the deeper I get into thyroid and metabolism, to really comprehend the impact your thyroid has on the entire function of your body. Do you know that every single cell of your body has the potential of, or has a docking station for thyroid hormones? Every single cell of the body. That means your thyroid has an impact on every single cell and every single organ on the body. You can think of it another way. Your thyroid is involved in all of the things because she can talk to all of the cells. Yeah, your thyroid is kind of the main engine of your beautiful, gorgeous, sophisticated, marvelous body. So all month long, we're going to be focusing on the thyroid. If you have any questions about thyroid stuff, send me a private message and let's get you some answers, because really I can't believe it's taken me this long. I used to say, yeah, I'm all about ferments. And then I was like, no, I'm all about inflammation. And then I went, no. I am all about histamine stuff. And now I'm like, oh, hang on a second. I'm actually all about thyroid. In fact, actually, I think the thyroid is everything. So I thought, what better way to actually jump into this than to offer a full month where we're talking about the thyroid with a chance for me to just dive a little bit deeper. So we have 4 Tuesdays in this month of February, where every Tuesday, 1 p.m. we'll meet here, chat for 15 minutes on a simple concept. They're never simple, let's be honest, but things to think about, especially if you're struggling with your thyroid, or if you're struggling with metabolism or energy, or you feel stressed keenly, or your adrenals are tuckered out. Here's why. I read this the other day. Kate Deering talked about this, and it made all the sense in the world. Your thyroid is your main engine, and your adrenals are your backup generator. When the main engine is out, you rely on the backup generator. But it's a backup generator. It should not be used all the time. When you feel stressed keenly in the world, or you are struggling and you're tired and your energy levels are low and your hair starts to fall out and other things, your period starts to get impacted, your libido is totally in the tank. When you have fertility issues, all of these, or mood stuff, all of these are really big, pointing the thing to the thyroid, and your thyroid is feeling it keenly because you're using the backup generator too much. Stop using the backup generator. Let's start getting the engine going again. And that's what we're doing this month. So our first Tuesday live topic is the single biggest thing you can do to support your thyroid. Is there one simple thing? Yeah, there is. I realize it's not simple, but the idea of it is actually fairly simple. The single biggest thing you can do to support your thyroid, P.S., this is not medical advice. If you have thyroid issues, go get it checked out. Medication can help make the difference between getting through your days. I am not against medication. What I will tell you, though, is that nutrition can be a really big part of your support team so that your body can function better. And my work is to help you figure out what are those smoke signals your body is sending. So what is that single biggest thing you can do? Those who've been following me for a while are going to be like, oh, is it meat stock, Luca? Well, sort of, but not really. Do you know what the single biggest thing is? Mic drop. I've got pen drop. We're going to call it pen drop. Eat real food. That's it. Like, there's so many layers to this, of course. It's not just straightforward eat real food, like sit in my fridge and eat the foods, Luca. Well, sure. But eating real food is the single biggest needle mover you can do to support your thyroid. What do I mean by eat real food? I'm going to give you 3 things to think about. Eating real food means reducing your reliance on packaged foods. Here's why that is a problem for the thyroid. Packaged foods have a lot of low quality ingredients, And those low quality ingredients actually create havoc in your gut and in your system, in your body. And typically when the gut is having issues, your thyroid's the first organ out and it's the last one to come back in line. Because the thyroid has a lot of versatility and can sort of go with the flow. She's kind of your best friend. She super duper loves you. And she'll take the brunt of things and she'll work hard to try to make ends meet. But after a while, she doesn't want to hang out. No, she does hang out. I mean, your thyroid's always going to work for you as long as she can. But when the thyroid is struggling, it's because there is gut stuff going on. So the thyroid is typically one of the first organs that is showing signs of struggle, but the symptoms and the ways to read those signs is really hard because they're really vague things that can be kind of like all of the things. And when they slowly creep up on you, you don't notice that all of a sudden, oh my gosh, it is so hard for me to get through my day. Why? Did you know that you don't have to turn your snooze alarm off 10 times before you get out of bed? Yeah, that is actually a possibility, can be a possibility. So the thyroid is completely well served by eating real food in those 3 ways. First way, again, reduce your reliance on packaged foods. Packaged foods have low quality ingredients that just make a mess at the gut. When you make a mess at the gut, now you're stoking inflammation, and that is internal stress, which now throws your thyroid off and makes you use the backup generator. Yeah, great. No, not great. Other things too, there's things like potassium bromate. Potassium bromate actually negatively impacts your thyroid. Well, potassium bromate is found in a lot of packaged foods like crackers, breads, all sorts of things. So packaged foods, even if it's under the guise of like healthy stuff, like gluten-free bread sometimes will have potassium bromate, that starts to slow down your thyroid function. Yeah, right? Eat real food. Does that mean I'm supposed to make my own bread, Luca? Yeah, in some cases, absolutely. Especially if you rely a lot on grains. Yeah. And then talk to me, we'll get you figured out. But there's other things too. Low quality ingredients really undermine your digestive system and now have that impact on your thyroid. That's one reason. The second one, when you eat real food, you are actually nourishing your body versus packaged foods. Real food supplies your body with a lot of nutrients. White flour versus whole grain flour, for example, and I'm not saying one or the other. P.S. If you have thyroid stuff, you should probably take out flour. But that's a question for another day. But for example, white flour has so many nutrients taken out of it because it is refined. The majority of why people tell you whole grains are so great is because they're full of nutrients on the endosperm, the outside part of the grain. When you turn a whole grain into a refined white version of the grain, you've taken out all of the stuff that is deep in nutrition, and now you're just supplying carbohydrates. And I'm not against carbohydrates, not at all. In fact, we'll talk about that next week, spoiler alert. But you're getting rid of some of the nutrients you need for the thyroid hormones themselves to be made and for the biochemical processes in the body that the thyroid governs. You need ingredients for every reaction and every kind of recipe that your thyroid is involved in. Think of it that way. So if you're missing some of those nutrients, that means you're missing ingredients for recipes. So now your thyroid can't do what it wants. So eating real food provides the nutrient density that your thyroid needs. And your thyroid is actually a super nutrient dependent organ, really heavily dependent on some really key nutrients. I'm going to read them. I wrote them down. Iodine, essential fatty acids like omega-3 fatty acids, selenium, tyrosine, which is an amino acid type of protein, manganese, zinc, magnesium, iron, copper, vitamin A in animal form called retinol, vitamin C, vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, vitamin E. That's just a cursory glance. So when you're eating packaged foods or refined foods or things that are not like real food and they've been altered somehow, well, now you're starting to lack some of those nutrients you need. And that's actually at the key of a lot of thyroid troubles is that we can't get selenium. You used to be able to eat all the barley you wanted because barley typically would provide your body with selenium. That's one of the reasons people would eat barley. So you look in the textbooks, oh, barley, really great source of selenium. Check mark, I'll eat barley. Guess what? Barley will only get selenium in its final product if it can manufacture it out of what's happening in the soil with the microbiome of the soil, or if selenium is naturally occurring in soils. You grow the same crop on the same soil year after year after year, you've depleted all the selenium. There ain't no more selenium in your barley. There's a farmer just north of Calgary who is working at, he has a salt, this is from Blue Mountain Biodynamics. This is Chris Vester. Chris is like a wunderkind. He's so great. And he's so thinking ahead of things. He says, hang on, barley. Yeah, there's no more selenium. Huh. What if I put a salt lick for my cows? Because cows need minerals. They usually have a salt lick. You could buy a salt lick that has selenium in it. Now the cows have their salt with the selenium in it. I'm going to gather all of their stool and whatever is left, right, and turn it into manure, turn it into compost. Then I'll put that on my fields and I'll let that percolate and get back into the soil. And then I'll go and grow some barley. And then my barley is going to have selenium. And then I can sell it as a premium thing because now barley has what it's supposed to have, selenium. Oh, come on, that is all brilliance. So that's one of the reasons why eating real food is going to provide your body with some of those super duper important nutrients. So that's another piece to think about. So reduce your reliance on packaged foods, eat real food because of the nutrient density. And the third piece is ensure variety. Or that's another kind of an extension of point number 2, I guess. But ensuring variety and eating a variety of different types of real food will provide you with those all important nutrients that are a bit tricky to find and that you need for the true function of your thyroid. So, you know, eating all kinds of different types of meat, all kinds of different vegetables and fruit and grains, if you're consuming grains right now, and fats and animal fats and dairy products if you are, and coconut and if you are, and the list goes on, right? Eating real food, ensuring diversity of your food will help to really give you some of that deep nutrition for your thyroid. Another way to think about ensuring diversity is you kind of eat with the seasons. What is in season this month? What is in season right now? Well, right now we're deep in the midwinter. What would people in the midwinter have been eating? Well, they would have been relying on their stores of root veg and squash. They would have probably been pulling some of the sauerkrauts out of the cellar at this stage of the game. They would have had corned beef. In Ireland, of course, corned beef is a really big traditional food. You would have had bacon and salted meats and potted meats and all these different types of things. You would not have been eating a fresh salad on February 2nd, Groundhog Day. No, you would not. Nobody was growing salad until somebody invented glass windows so that you could have it in a greenhouse. I'm not saying that's not awesome, but it's a little bit weird to have salad in the dead of winter. Like, does that make sense? And will your digestive system recognize it? Why don't you save salad? I mean, I'm not against salad. I'm sprouting in my kitchen right now. Like, I will eat sprouts too. But the majority of your food, stick to the foods for that season. Next season, shift it up. And the season after that, shift it up even more. I have a whole series on eating with the seasons. We're going to get started on the next one in March. So put your name on the wait list. It's in my link in bio. Sourcing well is another key piece to know. When you are going for real food, sourcing well is important. There's a lot of really important reasons. When you source well, that means when you're able to go organic if you can, or pesticide free. Pesticides mimic your hormones and throw your thyroid out of balance. They block the thyroid from functioning properly, actually. So sourcing your ingredients well will serve you in the long run. You will also have lesser amount of heavy metal toxins that are in the end product if you're sourcing your foods well, both animal and plant versions. PCBs and pesticides, I've talked about pesticides, but PCBs specifically actually block the thyroid from working properly. Going organic will help serve you even better. Another thing, genetically engineered foods really erode your gut lining. Well, if you know that the gut lining and troubles at the gut now brings on thyroid issues, that's actually ground zero for thyroid, is always gut. Now you'll understand that genetically engineered foods will not serve your thyroid in the long run. So going organic means it's not genetically engineered or genetically modified. Switch to sea salt. Source some really good sea salt. Sea salt will give you tons of minerals that'll help support your thyroid. The thyroid and all endocrine function in the body really needs a lot of extra minerals. So providing your body with some of those things through sea salt versus table salt will actually help to nourish on a deep level. And I've got lots of other things too. Listen, if thyroid is something that you are struggling with, I can help you. I have lots of tools in my toolkit. I would love nothing more than to help answer some questions you've got. So if you're questioning, is my thyroid working? Do I need to address this? Hit me up and let's chat about it. I'll put a link to book in for free 15-minute chat. I have a thyroid class coming in March as well. So I'll put a link to that in the comments below. And yeah, get your name on the newsletter. That's actually where you'll get most of the information and updates of things that are coming that are in pertaining to the thyroid. So link to that is also in my, it'll be in the chat below. So meet you next week here at 1 p.m. for yet another Tuesday Live. In the meantime, go eat some real food. Your thyroid called. She said thanks. Salut. À bientôt.